Pledge. The American flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And the Texas flag. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee,
Texas,
one state, under God,
one and indivisible.
Let us pray. Dear Lord, we just thank you for allowing us to come together today. We just ask your wisdom as we make decisions that involve the county. We're thankful for this holiday season and the many fun happenings that we have planned. We just ask that you guide us in the ways that you would want us to go. In your name we pray. Amen.
Oh, see that.
Okay. Anyone have any questions on any of the bills?
Motion to pay the bill. And I'll second it.
Motion and second to pay the bills. Any further discussion? All in favor? Sorry, that TV's not hooked. Oh, you can see on that one. Okay. We'll get it. That's fine. Eventually. Do we have any payroll today?
We're frozen.
Item 5, any additions or corrections to our previous?
No corrections. That was November 14th meeting.
Okay. Item 6, any public comments? No. Okay, I don't see our number 7 here yet, so we will skip over that. When they get here, we'll go back to that. So the next item on our agenda is to adjourn into executive session. Everyone gets sit down and then they leave again. Are you taking this? Yeah, you might want to take that. Might take us. You take.
Me to stay.
And back in at 10:10. Okay, we are on item 9 and there'll be no action from the executive session today. So item 10 is to consider and or approve Judge Ford's bond in the amount of $5,000 and Kelly Ratliff, the incoming county clerk's bond in the amount of $60,000.
I'll make a motion that we approve both those bonds. Second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Item 11 is to consider and or approving allowing Auditor Alicia Craig the authority to complete and sign credit applications for new vendors.
This, the purchasing statute gives you the right to appoint an agent to make contracts. And this would just be for a regular vendor, credit application for a new vendor. As long as they are, nothing out of the ordinary. If there's anything out of the ordinary, I would bring it to court to make sure that it's okay.
So kind of like the one we did with, was it Amazon or?
And well, like this would be, say, if we wanted to set up a new net 30 account with, we might have one with Ace Hardware, but
Right.
or if you wanted a, we had one for a building supply company that we were gonna try to buy some stuff for, but they weren't a vendor yet. And so we would need to fill out an application for them. That just gives me the authority to go ahead and send it in before court instead of bringing it to court. It just kind of pushes it along. Otherwise, we would have to wait until court, let you sign the contract and then send it in. So they would have to plan way ahead for any kind of supplies or anything that they would want to purchase.
And this obviously is just purchasing vendors.
Yes, just purchasing. It wouldn't be for like, setting up any kind of like credit cards or anything like that. It would just be for like a net 30 that we could charge and be invoiced for later.
Okay. Anybody have any questions?
Make a motion, we approve allowing Alicia Craig authority to complete and sign credit apps for new vendors.
Okay, motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Item 12, consider and or approve contract with Carson County for inmate housing. Craig, did you look over this contract did Laura send that to you for the? And no issues, right? I think it's the same, isn't it? There wasn't any changes from the last time. Anybody have any questions? You should have a copy of it in your pile. There's no changes, so. Oh, sorry. I thought I made y'all a copy.
I think it was last meeting, but I don't see it now. Remember seeing it.
That one that we approved. Like that.
A while back, but this is the new one for to be effective upon signing through December of 2023.
It's exactly the same, but the dollar amount has
That's
changed.
what I thought.
Because it went from 45 to 60, didn't it?
40 to
No.
60, I think.
I don't even know who presented that one.
Laura sent it to
He
me.
did give me a heads up that he would be presenting it.
Judge, I didn't review that. I reviewed one with the city. So I got to put up there.
Oh, okay.
But I haven't reviewed the initial one up here.
Okay. So the only change made is the date and the amount
Yes, ma'am.
from 40 to 60.
Yes. When we
Okay.
have commissioners court again, there is one that has been drawn up between us and the city of Porter.
Oh, okay.
So that's what he's referring to.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So this not the one that we just got one, didn't we, like 3 or 4 months ago?
Not too long.
Because they started charging us.
Right.
Yes,
Yes.
That, so
but now they've gone up.
why? So did they give a reason for why they raised it just 3 months later after we just drew up the contract?
He just said that the increase in cost of housing and inmate. I'll see if I can find this email.
It's just real short.
It seemed like.
They weren't charging us at all
I know,
when
but
they started charging.
if we,
Is that even signed by him or?
I mean, they weren't charging us, but if
Uh-uh,
3 months
hasn't.
ago.
See, I don't
they'd go to
think
60
that was
if we
ready
can.
to be presented yet.
We can hold off on it.
Because basically he sent me that and just said, hey, I'm giving you a heads up that I'm going to present this to my commissioners, just.
Okay.
Basically.
All right. Well, I just got it from Laura and she just said, will you sign it? And I'm like, no, because it has to go through Commissioner's Court.
I thought we'll figure this out and
Yeah, we
Bring
can
it back.
actually table this. If I have a motion to just table it.
make a motion.
I'll second it.
Okay, and we'll put it on the next agenda. All in favor of that? Okay, great. And we'll table that and revisit that at our next meeting. All right, item 13 is to consider and approve the interlocal agreement with the city of Hansford or city of Sanford. Talk.
So I have the contract here that Dwayne drew up in.
Yes, well, Dwayne didn't, I think that's the one we've always used, the same,
One.
Yeah.
And
After the-
yes,
the updated one with the prices, that's what the prices.
yes.
And so that's basically what he's presenting today, and I just need their signature. If approved.
Do what? I didn't hear you.
Oh,
It's just with the updated prices.
Oh,
updating
Yeah.
prices to present, and then once approved, I have,
You have the one signed by Sanford?
oh no. We take this to them after we approve,
Okay,
or I will.
any questions about that? I hear a motion.
Motion.
I move to approve the interlocal agreement with Sanford County.
Second.
Motion and second, any further discussion? All in favor? I'll get that signed. Okay.
Dwayne's on vacation, that's why I'm running the stuff for.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is to consider and or approve the updated policy manual. So y'all have had a copy of it. That Dwight sent. Everybody has a copy and did y'all have a chance to look over it? And can we pause for 1 second? And let me go holler at Kathy because she said they were super busy today, but she wanted to be in here when we discussed this. And so let me get her real quick.
Did you drive here? Because I didn't answer your text.
This week.
Oh, are you?
So, yeah. So I got it over the weekend.
Oh, the donation. Man, she drove all the way because I ignored the text.
I would have done that too.
They're coming. They're coming.
Down there. Oh. I think I put the page on here, but the Google document.
Hey, why was this in blue?
That was a TAC, the original.
Oh, so tax said put that in there?
Yeah, TAC
Okay,
blew it.
but we didn't have that in there
No,
originally, okay. Because
everything
all the changes are in yellow, okay,
TAC did the blue one.
right. And y'all can see that most of those changes, now there are a few actual policy changes, but most of them are just cleaning it up to comply with the things that we need to comply with.
It went from 70 pages to 90 pages. A personal manual. And if you, I don't know how we do it, but basically everything, what I did is I left the original stuff in there and then I highlighted the suggestions. So if you want to keep it, basically anything you want to change, you let me know and we'll go back. When you approve it, I'm assuming you want all the suggestions.
All the suggestions look good. I didn't see any problem with any of the suggestions you made.
And if you want to add some, then we can do that. I just need to make a note on where we're doing it so I can, once I get this finalized, I'll send it to, of course, Kathy and everyone for record, but I'll take all the yellow out and
Mhm.
make it an official document.
So if you look on page 17,
And there may be some,
this
So-
was,
before we do that,
Uh-huh.
there may be some grammatical errors, because I think Chris found some. I messed up the zip code right at the beginning, Amy found, because I basically retyped that this whole manual, pretty much. There's a few pages, so if there are any typos, those are probably my issues. So, if you see any, page 1, I know it seemed long. Is there anything on page 1 that needs to be fixed that y'all saw? Okay, page 2. Oh, sorry. So page 2 through 3 is the table of contents. And then we're on page 4, which really nothing changed on that. 5. And then as Judge mentioned on page 8, that is the TAC thing. And even though it is highlighted, it is not approved yet. So I'm assuming
that was just a recommendation from TAC.
page 9. Page 10, there was a lot of, just for, as you know, TAC suggested that.
Gender neutral.
Yeah, take the he and she out and put their or them. And those are highlighted.
So there's a lot of that throughout the manual.
We're on page 14. And then page 15, was there anything?
15, remove 1A,
Okay.
which was,
Everybody good with that? Page 16, just page 17.
it's 10-hour, changing 14 to 10 hours,
Sick leave.
sick leave.
Anybody have any comments or suggestions? Okay. I'm assuming all the grammatical was fixed as well. And then page.
I mark those, I'd have to. I don't-
And the maximum accrued sick leave from 840 to 480
For new people.
for new people. Yeah, if you're an existing employee, then this change doesn't.
Okay.
But what about the accrual of sick leave 14 to 10? Was that to apply to everybody?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, that was to.
Everybody.
The max on the 840 to the 480, the 480 would start on people starting January 1st, 2023.
Okay,
That'd be their max. They could accrue. And anybody that's currently here, they will continue to go up to the 840.
okay. But starting January 1, sick leave is 10 hours a month
Yes.
instead of 14,
Yes,
if we approve that.
yes.
Does anyone have a problem with that?
Nope.
Okay, we're on page 8. Any ideas? I mean, any comments?
No.
19. I know I have stuff highlighted, but if you don't like it, then we need to fix it.
Well, you can take out your suggestion, because we have no 8-hour days, so.
Right.
you can
That's
take
why
out
we-
2A.
That's why we suggested.
Okay. And then page 20.
I have to, I'm just about to, it doesn't have the pages. That's what you're talking about. All right, so on that suggestion for the original says for purposes of sick leave, pool policy, immediate family, spouse, children under 18, 100% disabled, father and mother. The suggestion is going to take out their father and their mother. So is that what y'all are wanting?
This is sick pool.
I know,
On the
but
sick
now,
leave.
I mean, they've been able to take sick leave for like a sick mom or dad for stuff. So what was the,
Did we take it out on the sick leave or did we just take it
Now,
out?
on the sick leave pool,
Just taking the pool out.
this is
Oh,
just the
okay.
pool that we're talking
I
about.
got
Yeah, yeah, on their
Sick
sick
leave
leave,
is still-
we can take that out.
you. Okay,
Yeah,
that's my
But
mistake.
on the actual
That's what I make
getting
sure.
time out of the pool.
Okay.
We didn't, because TAC was like, why are you letting them have
Okay.
all this out of the pool? No.
21 and 22. We're on 23 and I didn't highlight the whole page, but this entire policy is suggested to be added. This is not in there before.
So this whole page on 23 is new,
The mental health policy.
right?
And it's really not, I mean, we had to do that.
Yeah,
That's kind of meant, yeah.
yeah. So
That all came from TAC also? Okay,
So we had that.
And then we're on page 25. And then on page 26. And then this whole page is added also, the following on 27.
Okay, but now on
25,
25,
we're taking-
holidays,
Yeah,
that's, that is the suggestion that the paid holiday. You don't get comp. You're not,
Right.
you have to be working to accrue comp. A holiday, right now, we have sick leave and we have vacation that you don't get it on. But a holiday, if it falls that week, then it can happen, they could get it. This is saying we want that removed. The holiday.
Okay, then under 6. You got the paid time off during the next 90 days equivalent to the amount of time worked of that holiday.
Yes.
That wasn't in there before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you have to work that holiday within the next 90 days, you need to take that holiday off.
I'm good with that, but
Yeah, sounds good to me.
And holidays do not accrue, it's not taken, they will not be paid at termination or retirement.
agreed.
Agree.
okay. Jury duty standard. This replaces our current military leave with this one. Reserves, I didn't mess with that one. So this page 28 would replace 27, correct? I mean, okay,
Okay.
28 would replace 27.
And this was recommended by TAC?
Yeah,
Yes.
really the change on this is the hours, like the up to the 120 hours. So So, yeah, so we're not going to have 27, we're going to have. the entire
28.
pay the 28.
28.
Yes. And then 20 or 30. Nothing changed on 31. We're on 32 and 33, nothing really changed. 34, nothing changed. 35, nothing changed. 36, also nothing changed. 37, no change. 38, no change. 39, no change. 40, no change. Let me see one. Okay, I forgot to highlight it, but when we get to 43, there's. Yeah, I fixed it. I sent it to you guys. Let me double check it. Okay, the word eligible was edible. I did it both times. All edible employees. My wife caught it, actually.
We might not get away with it.
I must have fixed it.
I said
Must have-
eligible.
I was like, please, Lord, let someone catch that if I missed it. That would reduce our comp time. And 44, we added this and we actually kind of brainstormed this one. I just want to give the committee, there wasn't really anything to go with on that. So page 44, the work from home aspects, and then the weather policy was all added.
That's good.
Yep. And then we're on 47.
Personal use of the thing we discussed.
Yes,
Family and the business.
no family and vehicles. Suggestion,
Where are you at?
huh?
Where are you?
I'm at 47 and 48. Is basically removing what we have and adding 3 more items. And then 49. 50 is basically the same. 51's pronoun change. 52 is basically the same. 53 is the same. 54 is the same. 55 is the same. 56 is the same. 57 is the same. 58 was a lot of changes. And make sure the numbering's right. I don't know why that format is done. And 60.
Those were all suggested changes from TAC, right?
On
All that.
59. The breaks is actually a legal thing, a FLA thing.
Okay.
It's all good.
And 61.
60, we added that timesheets are government documents.
Yeah,
And on 61 is personnel files, information. 62 is the same, 63 is the same, 64 is the same, 65 has a addition suggestion to remove the persons. Basically saying what we kind of already said. And then and I just thought this is a big change on page 66 that I would like to talk about. We got this from other counties. Employees shall be required to use compensatory time prior to use of vacation time. That would help with getting the compensation down.
Right, the comp time, yeah.
Yeah. All right, moving to 58, no change. 69 is we didn't have in there, so that's all added. 70, no change. I mean, it's added, there's a lot of pages added to it, but approved last year. No change on 75. No change, some changes on 76, but those are just in-house stuff. Seven's the same, except that one portion. 78, no change. 79, no change. 80, no change. And this one's all new, adding number 19 and the bullet points is new. And I think 20 is new, the next page. So 81, even though I didn't highlight it, 81 and 82 are new. New to the policy. 83 is the same, 84 is the same. 85 is the same, and 86 is the same, but is being worked on by Alicia to be updated in the near future. 87 is the same. It's the same, or 88 is the same. I'm going, 89 is the same. And then this is not a requirement, but I think anytime we make an adjustment, it's good to have it in our when it happened and who was on that board, just for record at the end of every.
I'm glad you said the edible and.
Yes. I was sure hoping I fixed that before I sent it, but I never went back to check if I did. Till we started talking this morning and my brain goes, oh, crud.
I mean, 'cause we're gonna,
Yeah, did a great.
this is just.
gonna send me a new one.
Once we get all that.
So I was gonna ask you, once I get all the yellow taken out and all the dents in that to the minutes, I didn't know if you needed the proposed and or the final.
Probably just the final. But
yeah,
You can have my.
Okay,
I'll just
propose
printed
and
that.
then we'll put
Yeah.
the final in on.
Okay.
Want this?
I have to say this committee was very patient because we went through it all one time. And I misunderstood when we were talking of who's gonna do all the editing. And so after it was over, we did our last meeting and everybody looked at me, Kathy did, and said, when are we gonna have this done? Dwight, I was like, what? I'm doing the editing? I did not realize. So we had to meet again.
You volunteer?
I did volunteer. I misunderstood. And so and so they had to meet again for on my behalf. And so I appreciate the committee meeting again for my failure.
So what about the changes, Lisa, that you're making on the travel?
I'm gonna do like a travel policy for reimbursements.
Okay,
So
so
it just outlines a little more detail. But I would like to also use that committee to get everybody's
okay, input on that,
collaboration.
right?
Yes.
Okay. So that'll be
But that will be.
the only other
after
thing
The new year sometime.
that we're waiting on for finalization on it, so. Do I have a motion to accept the updated policy manual with the exception of the travel?
I move to accept the updated policy manual.
Oh, second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Okay, so how do y'all want to go about,
Distributing. I would suggest to save money if we just did a email to all, because all the employees have emails, don't they?
Not the Red and Red, but we can, it'll be the Wayne, but not the Red and Red guys.
Oh, okay.
So what we can do is we can have one master copy and just have that signature form just to put it in their file, just available for them to come to the office and read over it. And just have one manual printed off. Then they can each sign like that last page, right? And then, because that's all they need to do is sign the last page.
Well, are you?
But I think-
Are we just talking about Road and Bridge employees right now? Or what?
Well, whoever
I
needs.
think
to sign.
everyone,
Everybody would have to,
Yeah.
Everybody,
they can go back and look at it if they have a question.
I'm saying he was saying you can email that out.
Yeah,
Be on the
Yeah.
website.
It'll be-
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
I was just, there was talk about printing, having these all printed
Right.
and distributed, which would be quite expensive.
Yeah, I think email would be great.
And maybe we could,
Want to email everybody this, or do we want to put it on the website and then email everyone in the department heads to tell them they need to make sure they look at that and sign that last page?
I would do both.
All the above.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it would be easy enough to send out to the
Okay.
county directory,
Okay.
the whole,
So we're gonna email this to everybody and we're gonna have Russell put it on the website. And then I would like to suggest that we send a separate email to the department heads saying you are responsible for making sure that your employee gets these last 2 pages back to our office,
Mhm.
to put in their personnel files.
Right.
I agree.
Now, when we have new hires, how do you handle the policy?
Prints it
Yeah,
out.
I'll print it out and give it to them individually. So, and then they sign
The back, that they acknowledge they got it.
So we can't just email it to them,
the.
the new?
And hope that they, send that, but of course we can get with the supervisor, but yes, we could email it to them. Usually takes, depending on when they do the hire.
Right.
The hiring process usually before they come to work. So then, we could do like a certain time frame.
Or could you change your acknowledgement form to say, let them check mark how they wish to receive it, whether they wish to receive a hard copy or they acknowledge that they will go to the website and review it.
Do that.
And then they could just check that, and then they could sign it with their documents. And then maybe you have a few just printed up. If they request a hard copy, then you could just hand them a hard copy. And if they check that they want an electronic version, then it's on them to go to the website to
Right.
review it.
Good idea.
No.
And you're talking about just new employees.
Yeah, just new hires
Yeah.
as they come in.
So they would just need another signature sheet. On the acknowledgement.
And if we put it on our website, tell the other counties it costs $10 to steal from us.
Right.
Even though we took a lot from them. We can make some money on the deal.
So is that something you need to add to the acknowledgement form then? On the back page where it's not? Or it's gonna be a separate signature?
I think the acknowledgement form would work, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think on the.
Just add something to that.
You could just add. I don't know exactly what all it says in here.
But we're only doing that changing for the new employees, though. The old ones will get, is that right? The old ones will get the same.
Well, and maybe some of the current employees want a hard copy and if they checked a hard copy when you got them back, then you would know how many copies you would need to print. If, Ben decided he wanted a hard copy, but I wanted the electronic copy, they could check on their acknowledgement form that they send back.
Okay.
For only $29.99.
I was about to say.
Yeah.
And for $50, I'll write it on as patent.
Maybe not, if you don't want to give the current employees options for a hard copy, they can print it off of the.
One of the current employees can print themselves personally.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see where the new ones might not have access
Right.
right away, but the current ones, I mean, would y'all not let your Always print a copy, Jan, from their,
Mhm.
your copy
Oh,
machine?
I would.
I would.
The only problem would be like. the
I think we need a
road bridge,
bond.
Yeah.
any viewpoint. Either way. So,
You know, we may have to print one of these to start with for Dwayne and then let him supervise. Here you go, you got to check out to read it now. If you don't want to read it online. I mean, they don't have an email, but maybe they have a personal email. I don't know. Whatever
If
y'all.
they don't, if he's got a hard copy, they can read it and then
Or maybe
just make copies of the signature page, you know.
I'll make sure Road and Bridge has a copy. I'll take care of that.
And that we'll get the pages back
Yes.
on the back.
I'll do that.
He's gonna have a lot of stuff. They just came down with new DOT clearinghouse rules.
I mean, I'm gonna talk to you about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've got
Okay,
it.
anything else on the policy manual?
Can I publicly say the committee's name just for the record?
You can.
So Kathy Sargent was on the committee for the personnel manual, Amy Back, Judge Cindy Irwin, Carrie Kimmel, Tammy McBrayer, Leisha Craig, Monica Sepulveda, and Dwight Kirksey.
And that is a K on Craig.
Yes, I fixed it in the email, but I didn't fix it on the.
Thank you, Dwight, for doing that. Appreciate it.
And of course, what are we putting on this, guess page one on? I guess you're gonna put today's date.
Was approved today, but we still have a couple of changes
Yeah, we don't,
that,
like sick leave, we don't want that effective till the 1st. And it states that in, so is that okay?
What's it say?
it states it in the policy manual, doesn't it? So I think it's fine.
This is just
And the travel in
Resolution.
here will be effective until later, whenever we come up with travel policies.
Okay.
So we just gonna approve the manual as submitted, and then we'll put a supplemental travel policy page in there. Right.
Later, yes.
All right. Did that answer your question, Kathy?
I think, so.
Okay.
So I think we're gonna put today's date,
Yes.
and then after you get the changes made, of course, and then, I guess y'all can get it signed by the court.
Well, today it's approved with all the changes. I just gotta do the
Right. that-
legwork.
Yeah.
It won't have to be approved again.
No. Okay. All right. Thank you, everybody, for working on that. Well, that was kind of a project. All right, item 15 is to consider and or approve any ARP grant projects. So we have. Yeah. Okay, we have a grant project request from Jerry Langwell, but I think it was on behalf of the Commissioners Court for radios for the Commissioners Court. Do you want to explain it, Jerry?
Yeah, so a couple of commissioners came to me asking about replacing the radios that back on the old system, they did have the old VHF radios. This was their old VHF with the new 700 radio. That's what the quote came in with from Motorola to replace those four.
The quote was 31,603. What it says on the application.
That's for
Yeah,
radios.
then there's also for the mowers and tractors and stuff like that, we wanted to add, Jerry can tell you. We wanted to add something on there so they can use those same radios in there and not have to buy radios for that equipment. It's just adapters.
Right.
That you put in there.
Dwayne is looking at, he's gotta give me some numbers and if this project right here is just for those.
This is just for the radios.
Right.
It doesn't include the
Right.
for the road and bridge.
Dwayne's gonna get some numbers for other equipment that, well, I'll submit a different project application once he gets that to me. This will be to replace the 4 VHF radios in Commissioner's Court to the upgrade to the new radios.
In this project, we've already been into 15 days and folks only good to 30. So need to do something. We're gonna do it.
This quote for 31.
Mhm.
Okay, so who all has a radio right now?
Nobody. I was given the old commissioner's radio, but it didn't work.
It doesn't work.
You can't buy batteries for the chargers.
I don't want a radio.
I don't have any need for radio. It's money, throw it away for what we do.
Okay, so Chris, want a radio?
Well, I talked with Jerry in the past about using the radio, just because if we do the drone stuff and the illegal dumping, I delivered food to the fire one time and.
Yes, I think it could be beneficial for that, those reasons, because
Well, they're using county equipment for that.
do help out.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna use it all the time, but when the times that we need it, it's kind of important, especially if, because we are the emergency management group, so, I mean, there are times that we're needed, so I think it's I'm fine with having one if I need it. I'm not gonna use it all the time.
And also just not on the emergency side, but if you needed to contact anything on your precinct.
Right, I was gonna say that.
The new system does encompass road and bridge, so if you needed to get hold of Dwayne or a grader or something like that, you'd have that capability.
If we go back to our precinct system, I would want a radio. But until then, I don't need one.
I'm okay with having extra radios in case y'all have to send some to get repaired. Have a backup, just like one or two, but I don't know about buying them for me. Don't buy one for me, so
Don't buy one.
I won't be using it. I was given one when I was mayor, and I think I turned it on once just to be silly.
Well,
I use my cell phone all the time.
before cell phones, we use two-way radios all the time. They can be a pain in the butt. You can't get away from them, but like Chris said, there's times when you really need to know what's going on. So
If you did get a radio for, like Dwight, if you did get a radio and you didn't want it, we get inventory, just keep it in inventory. We did have to ship one off for warranty. I've had to ship one off for warranty right so far. And luckily I was able to shift around a couple that we had to make up that about 3 weeks that are shipped off for warranty. But if we had one in inventory, one or two in inventory, it would be a bad deal, so I could.
well, if we had two radios and somebody needed one, I'd be glad to give mine up until they get the one back. I mean, it's not like we're gonna be using it all the time, and they are expensive. I couldn't believe how expensive they were. But I think if we're gonna do it, now would be the time to do it.
Well, I say if y'all want one, you two want one, I'll authorize two. And then, but also y'all just give them up if they need them for extra.
Sure,
I'm fine.
I'd be glad to.
I was gonna use the app. Because the app, you can talk and do all that stuff, but they don't have it available. It's kind of like the same thing as it can talk with all systems type of stuff we already went through, so. It's one of those that if we need it, it's not a bad idea to have a few. There are multiple incidents that pop up. We need to have a couple of IC people.
So I move to approve two radios.
The purchase of two.
The purchase of two radios.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and second for two of the Motorola radios. Any further discussion?
Can I just ask a question? So that means
Gonna change
the
the
warranty
price.
will be half of
Yeah.
this.
Right.
There was just a total. It didn't say per,
Yeah, that was for four.
so it should just be half. Okay, was there any further discussion? All in favor? And then the other ARP project application was just a supplemental application from Judge Mosley. And it was for some additional funding for flooring So I believe I gave y'all a copy of that. It said the original request for refurbishing and remodeling the victim witness area on the second floor of the courthouse was approved on October the 24th. Excuse me. And since then, they got a quote on the carpet that came in a little more. The original flooring was 2,500 and they were provided a quote for 3,900.
So we're,
It was simply because of the selection of the commercial product that they picked was, and then they also didn't put the cove base in there too.
I didn't read.
Any questions? Craig, do you have anything to add?
No, plan was to preserve that code base and then we found out we couldn't.
Right, once they ripped out the stuff, it's probably gonna ruin that.
If we got something like this, it'd be a little cheaper. What we got has some kind of flecks of color in it that'll go. It'll be more kid friendly.
Right.
And the increase is a little less than 20% of the original, so.
I move to approve the $1,500 increase for the carpet. In the,
I'll go ahead. Sorry, it's gotta be seconded.
Oh.
I'll second it, but I have a question.
Okay.
So the funds requested 1,500, but the specific difference
It's like,
was 14, is it?
it's like
We need to see.
15.
So it's gonna be
Let
up
me see
to, it just needs to be up to $1,500 or,
Right.
so there's not a specific.
Right, and that is an estimate too. You know, hopefully that comes out the same once you put it in.
Okay, that's all I was gonna ask.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Or questions, Craig? All in favor?
Thank y'all. We're really pushing to get that done in the next couple of minutes.
Thank you.
Oh, okay, I got you. Thank you.
Thanks, Craig.
I would like to go over the financial summary that I sent to y'all on the ARP fund. Probably should have done that for the project, but there is one that I left off of the original summary.
Uh-huh.
For the Tyler Technology jail manager.
Mhm.
So if we stick with that $1 million for this fiscal year for the budget, if I take off the Tyler Technology, that would leave $184,752 remaining for this year before these two approved. And then I would also like to discuss how y'all want to, I need to do some budget adjustments. Because in our plan that we had approved, we didn't account for the squad cars that we were gonna purchase. We didn't account for the retention bonuses that were paid out of here. And then also United Way, we didn't have that in the original plan. So I just wanted to know if y'all wanted to just stick with the 1 million for this fiscal year and just move money around to cover that. Or if you wanted to put additional funds into this fiscal year to cover those expenditures, leaving $1 million for whatever else this year. That makes sense.
So when we wrote that, it was based on, we have already known about the constable cars and the sheriff's cars and the
Incentive, and when we did.
I forget,
plan-
United Way thing. We knew about it, it just wasn't documented, right?
Right,
It wasn't part of the plan.
yeah, so when we did the plan, we decided $1 million and we put, 60% of it for facility repairs and 10% to security.
So when y'all thought about the $1 million, you kind of mentally already knew that those were probably going to be spent, right?
Yeah, took all the encumbered stuff.
Yeah,
Disregarded that was looking forward with the million, not including,
yeah.
I mean, it was included it, but it was our. And
So when y'all said $1 million, moving forward with $1 million, right? Or were you thinking those as well? I can't recall. And I say y'all, because I don't know what I was thinking in that process.
million for the.
If that was in,
That was my thing.
So it's the total of those three together are $544,792. So if we can move that much more money into this fiscal year to cover those and leave that much less for next year.
yeah, let's do that.
That's what my suggestion would be.
I thought.
That's probably what
We didn't
everybody was
even
thinking.
Categorize those really. We didn't categorize those with the plan forward. So that's what, I mean, I agree with that.
Is everybody okay with
I
that?
also have I'm just gonna say this at the last meeting. If we, instead of just taking everything and just voting on it as it comes, if we start doing things like quarterly and take applications quarterly, we can kind of see and prioritize what we have coming into, like if we do January to March. And then meet after that. I mean, that kind of gives us a chance to, instead of just flinging it at first come, first serve, it gives us a chance to prioritize our stuff as well.
I think that's a really great idea.
So also, if we do that, people would have to wait for quotes until like March, knowing that they only have 30 days.
Yeah, your quotes are, some of them are even
Well,
only
and
good
it-
for 2 weeks nowadays, so
That's why they just wait till March.
it'd be pretty tough to do.
They'd have to just wait
They
till,
just have to wait till March.
right
I mean, it
before
doesn't- Yeah,
and get that quote.
When you talk to leaders, you just ask for, I need a quote right now to see what I'm looking at, and a quote 2 weeks. I've done that.
it's not really much.
I think he's saying rather than just approve it every single meeting, just have certain meetings, and then that way you know that it only gets approved 4 times a year or. And so you have to plan ahead. It's not just, oh, I decided I need some new light fixtures or whatever, and I'm gonna throw it out there. It's something that's more planned for, right?
Yeah, I mean, none of our quotes have really been emergency where it has to be. And we've also even extended things out to where they had to get requoted anyway. So I mean, it's not that big of a change.
Where you come up with I want to use it for this, but I know that it's not gonna get approved until March.
Because if we come down to having 100,000 left and we just go first come, first serve, that doesn't protect us to say, oh, well, this is probably more important than the other stuff.
I think instead of quarterly, I would do 3 months. Just kidding. It's the same.
Well, it's pretty tough to get your people lined up with everything you have to do.
You gotta do it.
So you just put people off even further.
I think that by doing what, I mean, I can see advantages both ways, but I think that it causes, I know it would me to stop and think a little bit more about the process, and instead of just jumping in with applications, I think it might be a valid. And we could try it like that. If it doesn't work. I mean, we can always make an exception, I would think. We all think.
I'm for it.
I think if it was something like an
emergency,
that
That, that's always gonna happen.
the sky's falling and we need some money, then
Well, for instance, like you have to have an engineer look at it. You don't know how long it's gonna be till they get through with their project, and when are they gonna get paid? In the quarter?
Well, I think those could be, some of that could be emergency stuff. Yeah,
Well, I guess
needed to,
plumbing would be an emergency. You gotta get it,
oh, yeah,
needs to be fixed.
would be.
Yeah. So I guess that would work, right?
you know, if it was a plumbing emergency. But we
Well,
also have a maintenance budget.
Yeah, some of
Yeah.
it come out of your.
Not all maintenance is an emergency.
Not always gonna be here.
Right.
Yeah,
but
I think it's just to kind of put a pause on everything on this ARP money instead of, just because I come up with an idea before you come up with an idea, her idea may be way lot better than what I want to spend it on. But y'all don't have y'all don't have the chance to compare those two things because we didn't submit them at the same time. And so if you're only accepting applications X times a year, then you've got an opportunity to say, okay, out of these 6 applications that are in front of us, do we want to pledge our money to that?
Exactly.
And this isn't
We
a big
haven't-
deal right now, but it will be when the money gets low.
Right.
And when the money gets low, everybody will be like,
Because whoever's
do
asking for
your
it first
part."
is getting it. And not that, none of it has been bad that we're spending it on. It's not like just,
You just have no vision.
yes.
Like we have, we're
there's
just,
no,
so,
there
When
could
my
be
budget gets
something
low,
better.
out if I mean at Arby's or Red Lobster.
right. And that's the job we were
Of
elected.
course, Arby's always.
Okay, so the suggestion was to do it quarterly, so we're talking the next time we would review would be March. We'll say if we start that in the first of the year. So March.
So we'll meet
Or
again
3
in
months, whatever you
January
wanna do.
or 3 months in January and then in March. That's the only way that would work.
Yeah.
So if you know that you have a project that you want to do, but you know that it's not gonna be considered until March, come before March, you need to get your quotes or get an idea of how much the project's gonna cost. And then submit your application. But you wouldn't do that right now. You would do it closer to the time that it's going to be approved.
Well, you'd have.
So you have some valid
to know
numbers.
What it's gonna cost. In that amount of time, the costs are probably gonna go up further than they are now.
So you wait till March.
Yeah, well, I
That's why
mean,
you wait till you say, okay, I'm gonna renovate the annex bathrooms.
yeah,
I wanna do that, but I know that they're not approving stuff until March, so I'm gonna put my application in come March. Or I wanna replace carpet or
Then-
whatever.
well, and then in other words, if you have to have an engineer look at it, you don't wanna get them until March. Cause you don't
can't
know
get
what
them
it's
until
gonna
you've
cost you.
Secured the funds.
So you can't get an engineer anyway. It's not
You
approved.
can't get them until you've secured the. funds.
Well, I know that, but I'm just saying. It's getting more confusing all the time to me. I'm just saying.
Everything I do takes 5 to 6 months
Yeah,
anyway,
I mean, that's pretty
with
straightforward.
church or city or county. So it's not a big deal to me. Quarterly's fine. For projects I do.
Okay, so are we good with quarterly? We'll
We'll do one
Try
in
that.
January and you can try it.
try it and see
Like
unless,
there's nothing written in stone.
Right.
It's not a policy.
I think it just makes it fair for everybody.
Right.
I like it.
all right, let's work towards that then.
Of course, I don't have any projects.
All right, anything else on ARP?
And then that-
So we are just gonna add the money in, and then I'll do a budget. Readjust.
Okay.
Thing.
All right,
Those words are.
item 16 is consider and approve the burn ban or rescind the burn ban.
Ground index is a 4-second gate. Get as much moisture go through the hole. Go under the high drought index, which is a 500 or higher. That is recommended action this time.
Are we supposed to have more this week?
Later on in the weekend, we might have a small chance.
All right, item 17 is to consider and or approve the disposal of obsolete office equipment. I did not receive any requests. 18, accept certificates of completion from elected or appointed officials.
I do not have any.
Item 19, consider and or approve requests for the use of the club rooms at the Border Library or Fritz.
I have the 24th of December.
Oh.
For a family.
Okay.
To celebrate their holidays. Yeah,
So I've got, be in January 14th, we have a wedding shower. And then January 21st is a baby shower. And there's one, I didn't mark it down. And there's one January 7th. Give me just a second. This new tablet search is weird. It's not. That's all I've got for now.
Okay. That it?
Yep.
Okay. All right, item 20, consider and or approve line item changes, transfers and or budget amendments.
I didn't have any.
I was hoping I didn't miss an email there because.
No, I didn't have any.
Okay, thank you. Item 21, consider and or approve advertising, opening, accepting or awarding bids.
We advertised for bids for the renovation of the annex bathrooms. We received 2 sealed bids, however, neither one of them were for the
Total,
advertised.
total project.
Yeah, the total project. I spoke with TAC and with another auditor, and we can't accept either one of these because they don't meet the specifications of the advertisement.
So we put those out there again?
No, we're gonna have to have an engineer
Oh.
them out, so
Yeah,
I'll wait until March.
Okay,
and so we're gonna have, what I would
We
like.
can wait till January. That's what we just said.
If the pipes bust open, we just have to pay for that. Worry about it. Yeah, it's a big deal.
You have all,
to-
you have all through December. We do it in January too. That's what we just said.
so we'll start in January. So if you want to submit something for January, then we'll move forward, hopefully,
Okay, well, that's,
for them.
we're
And I
gonna,
mean, I don't know if you can get someone out here during the
Speaking
holiday.
of bids and projects and him speaking of the engineering, I would recommend that we go out for RFQ for engineers. That way we have someone on hand for these projects because it is anything over $20,000. A public works is considered any kind of construction or renovation to a public building, so that that encompasses a lot of stuff. I did talk to Nathan Craddock from Tom Green County, and they have a commissioner there who is working with a representative, state representative, to try to get that number up. But I don't know whether or not it will pass in legislation or not, but for right now, it is $20,000. So
Okay,
we probably need to have engineers on, not retainer, but on standby so that everybody knows who there is to contact instead
so
of.
we just put a bid out
Well, we can't go out for proposal because it's considered a professional service, like a accountant or a lawyer.
right,
Or something like that. So you do what's called a request for qualifications. And the statute says that you pick the most highly qualified and you try to work out a contract with them. And if you.
so that every time we need an engineer, they're the people we go to.
Exactly.
Okay,
I like it.
So I can get examples of RFQs from other counties to go out to request their qualification.
yeah, that'd be good.
And they'll tell you, what they're qualified to, whether it's electrical engineering, mechanical, or, different things like that.
Okay. Good, thank you. Okay, where are we? 22, consider and or approve donations to Hutchinson County. We have a potential donation, but it's not ready. We thought we were
Nancy has one.
gonna be ready for that. And Nancy.
I do have one.
Yeah.
Emailed it to all of you. I apologize for getting it to you late, but we just got the check over the weekend. So we wanted to go ahead and recently, so just hold it back for that one.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've got, this lady, she donated last year to us. She was a border resident and now she lives here. The donation is for $3,000.
So she donated last year too, right? Yeah, you did.
yeah, I remember that.
$3,000.
Yes, $3,000.
Do I have a motion to accept that? Okay, we have a motion. Second,
Yeah, I'll second it.
further discussion, all in favor? Great, thanks,
Thank
Nancy.
you.
Did you give this to me? I can have it. You can have it. I gave that to you, so you can have it.
Credit.
All right, item 23, accept reports from elected or appointed officials.
I only have one. Jerry Langwell submitted a written monthly report from the Emergency Management Coordinator monthly.
Okay.
That sounds one of them.
All right, item 24, discussion of county judges and commissioners precinct daily operations.
Still working on the elevator.
Yes, I hear that.
Sure you do, everybody does. Maybe a couple more weeks or so.
Is that going as expected?
I think it's going very well.
Okay, good.
Don't know if I mentioned to y'all or not, but the tech stock came up after so many months after they put in new runways, they come and inspect them. And they've been here and inspected them and their engineers okay with it. So
Good.
everything looks good.
At the museum, the city put hot mix down last week. I got warm enough to do that, so that's done. We're just waiting on a change order for the fire escape stairs that I mentioned that the pipes failed.
Going that out in the alley, they put hot mix, yeah. Looked real good. I went by there and looked at it.
Good job.
Right, anything?
Better when we have stairs.
Okay, I just have one thing. So y'all remember when we approved the purchase for the sheriff's department cars, but he didn't trade those. And so I sent out an email to see if any other department needed those. And both Russell and Josh have requested the Tahoes. And so then that would mean that there would be two pickups that could either be traded. Dennis wanted to pick up, and I think Eddie wanted a better pickup
Dennis at the airport,
at the airport. Yeah.
they need something. They've got
Yeah.
a couple of vehicles or
Well,
not.
I think then it just rolls downhill, the worst vehicles,
Hmm.
but so the airport would have probably that Crown Vic, I'm guessing. Is that the one? They still got that? Yeah.
Kind of in the van.
Yeah, one of those vehicles could be traded. Or if we sold, and then it would still leave, I guess, the courthouse pickup. If we gave
It's
Eddie,
a year of the pickup coming from. You don't know.
I asked Eddie and he said that the pickups that Russell and Josh have are better than the one he has. But I think
They're older.
that one of them's older.
The
Then
courthouse
this.
is quite a bit older.
Oh, the courthouse one is, I thought one of Russell and Josh's
Let you know.
was older. But I mean, Eddie's having a few issues with the courthouse one, I believe.
So
We can't have it go down because the elections need it too. True.
As long as it rolls down and everybody's happy.
Right,
That's kind of what.
yeah, I mean, the
They're staying.
end result is gonna be that the trade-in value is gonna be much less than if we had traded the cars. But evidently that everyone was okay with that when we initially said.
he has a 2001 Chevy and a 2011 GMC. And the courthouse has a 2012 Chevy.
See, I thought it was newer. But evidently it's not in very good shape.
The airport has a 2001 Chevy pickup and the Crown Vic
I think the Crown Vic is
and
out
an
of order.
Uplander.
There's got
It's a
one, it's got a bad
minivan.
transmission. We can talk to Dennis about that later today.
I just wanted to give you all the update on way that was progressing, and
So
so I need to
which Tahoe, I can get with Laura probably to get which Tahoes.
goes to, yeah. Well, I know they both, Russell went and talked to the sheriff, I believe. Is sheriff still there? He went and talked to the sheriff about him and looked at him,
So the Tahoe will go to
right?
IT trucks.
To the courthouse and the airport. And then,
Just need to know which goes.
so the courthouse truck can be traded. And whatever vehicle that Dennis. And I'll talk to him about that today.
If we can get, tell me which VIN numbers go where.
Yeah.
Because I'll have to change it on the insurance schedule and on our fixed asset schedule.
Okay. Other than that, just remind everybody what we've got coming up on the calendar, which is this Thursday at 6:30 is the lighting of the courthouse. And this Thursday from 2 to 4 is the retirement celebration for Jan and Kathy and Robin. So right outside here, 2 to 4.
Is that gonna be Dennis's too?
No, I want to do something at the airport for him.
Oh, okay.
I thought I'd talk to him about that. Because I think that would be, I think more of his people would come.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, good idea.
So I'll talk to the board. Maybe the board will help us
Okay,
organize that.
yeah.
I hope. Anyway, and then we have the county appreciation dinner, which is next Thursday, December the 8th at the Dome. That starts at 6:30. And I'll just remind everybody that if they have not RSVP'd, they must do that because we've got to send in a head count for the caterer. And we're playing bingo. So be prepared.
Are we supposed to donate for that too?
No, we had an anonymous donor
Oh,
for the bingo prizes. So bingo's just come and play. Okay. And I think that's all I've got on my county calendar. It's a lot. But make sure everyone comes out this Thursday. Should be fun. Okay, item 25 is the struck off tax properties. We have one, which is one of those Retreat del Plano. So that's Dwight, right? Okay, and submitting an offer of 250 per lot, and there's a lot of lots. A lot of lots. For a total of $2,750 has been made by Gerald Smith of Sanford. Taxes haven't been paid on these properties ranging from 86 to 92. They were struck off in 2000 to 2014. And the appraisal of the properties range anywhere from 380 to 630. And I think it's just, it's just vacant property. Zero Caballero Villa. Vaquero Villa.
So I move to accept the bids for 250 per lot.
Here a second.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Okay, that's easy enough. That's the only one we have. So does anybody have anything else?
Except for the motion to adjourn.
Okay, Gary has a motion to adjourn. Do I hear a second? No, everyone wants to.
Everybody wants
Everybody else
to
wants to stay.
I'll second it.
Second, all in favor?
stay.